When the servant gets up and he looks out and sees all that army coming against him, he panics. He wakes up, Elijah said, look what's taking place. They come to kill us. And Elijah looks, not fazed one bit. You know the story, right? And when he tells the servant, he says, there are more of us than there are of them. The servants, I say, what's wrong with you? You know, it's almost like you tell someone, you know, just pray, let's just pray. And he says, dude, my problem is right now. You know, they don't understand. I heard someone say to someone the other day, you know, the wife is telling her, well, you know, her brother, you need to pray, or I'll pray with you. And he says, yeah, he's going to put money in my pocket right now to pay this mortgage. See, that was his attitude. Because he's looking at the practical. She's looking at it faith eyes. Unfortunately, you don't know how it transpired. You know, he was maybe you give me the money, you probably say to her, if you trust in your God so much. See, that's when people have that kind of faith, that's what happens. But when you have it, Elijah says, Lord, open his eyes so that he can see. And he saw a realm, and so often we don't see it that way in today, because we're so, you know, again at this point, we're still focused on the more tangible. And it's hard for us to sort of see beyond this physical. Now, you still have that case study in hand? Because that case study is very important for where we're going. We can say, this guy, who is very charming, great, people love him, think he's wonderful, but she's affected by what they don't see. You see? She knows. They don't see, they don't understand, but she's saying, she knows that you're the problem, you gotta get out. The scheme is working something in there. And I'm sure you're just waiting for the answer. Let me hear. Now let me go to Daniel, really quick. Here we go, because right now, when Paul outlines the spiritual armor, he was showing us our spiritual arsenal. He says our weapons are fearsome, but we must open our spiritual eyes to see them. What are spiritual eyes? Let me see if you could interpret spiritual eyes right now as a group. How do you interpret spiritual eyes? Talk about it. 1 minute. You got 1 minute because we're running out of time.
I don't know how to explain it, but yes, I can see with my sense. Blind to like human eyes. I can't see nothing. You're in a place where sense that something, understand it.
All right, guys. Time is up. Let me get quick answers, and then I want to sort of hopefully catch up. I don't want to do a part 2 on this thing. I'm going to try to see if we can get some most of it out today.
Okay.
Yes.
Spiritual eyes of seeing God's truth and point of view.
Right, I like that. Give him a hand. Very good. All right. What do you guys come up with?
Oh, they said, say the question again, so when I answer it, it's better.
Spiritual eyes, how do you interpret it?
Oh, we interpreted it as a discernment. Jay had said before you're saved, you would do things that it wouldn't mean anything to you, or it's just whatever. But when you become saved, there's something that you almost get like a check in your spirit. If something doesn't line up right, or you feel like you shouldn't have done that, so your spiritual eyes kind of are what, lets you know the way you should go.
Well, spiritual eyes is actually faith, right? It's things that you don't see, but you know is there. You see? And if you can actually make tangible what you can't see physical, that is what we're talking about. You're turning something that is not at this point, not visible, tangible. That's faith. Because you don't see it, but you know it's there. It's almost like, you know, I don't see the air, but I'm breathing it. You know? And it comes down to that point, because what blinds the servant? What blinds the individuals when you're getting hurt is what? It's the emotional state. We emotionally get triggered and things happen physically because we don't like physical pain. But when we understand that pain is really a teacher, is really to teach us, it's hard for us to comprehend pain because it's painful. It requires a lot of restraint to not give in to the emotional state. This is why relationships go off the chart, because we want our way, we want to feel comfortable, we want to have peace, we want all these things, and we don't understand that it takes work and hard work, and it is painful. Some people say, well, love is not painful. Love is painful. So here you go. Victory in spiritual warfare is inseparable from prayer, number one. You got to understand that. And the defense against the enemy is prayer. Because in the book of Daniel, here, if you go to chapter 10, verse 13, and it says that, but the prince of this Persian kingdom resisted me 21 days. Now, what's taking place in this situation here is this. Daniel's in a situation and he's praying and in a desperate situation. Now again, when you have a chance, read Daniel chapter 10 and you see what's taking place and you understand the battle he's having. It's a tangible battle. It's a real battle. It's really there. You feel it. You know your life is in danger. You know all these things are happening. And he's praying. And all of a sudden, an angel appears to him, right? And he tells him, you know, it took me 3 weeks to get here. He said, it took me 3 weeks. Your prayer came immediately. We heard it, bam. The Lord said, go down. And we came, but then we were resisted by what? See? Sometimes they are hindered and because the enemy gets in the way. Sometimes we are dealing in a spiritual realm in which we realize we are truly in a spiritual battle. Don't understand and see it so often. And sometimes we are even hindered to protect us. Because things are happening. We have to learn to persevere and hold on before we can actually see it. And he was telling Daniel that it took him 3 weeks before he got there because the enemy, the demon, angel of darkness, got in the way and prevented him coming and answering that prayer. There was a battle going on that they didn't even see. And this was Daniel's final vision, by the way. Yeah, this was the last time he had insight like that. This spiritual battle, when the angel came to him, he caught a glimpse of this dimension. And sometimes in order to get to see it, you got to sort of resist the emotional state. You're not going to be able to see it and understand it until you can control your emotional state. Your emotional state will cause us to panic, will cause us to react, it will cause us to try to find solution in our own strength. It will cause us to want to react physically and try to get it to work, whereas you cannot win that battle physically. Don't you say you can't win that battle physically? Now there are many more gifts that connects us to the spiritual armor and weapons here. Alright? Remember, we're talking about spiritual arsenal, what God has given us. Now, the key to using our weapons to see them, we need vision. You need vision. Now, when you say you hear vision, the tangible thing is what I see with my eyes, right? But that's not the kind of vision we're talking about. God gives us visions to see all the stuff He has given us right now to actually overcome this battle that's overwhelming. First, you got to make sure that you don't react to and take it out on the person or the thing that you're going through. Now you're going to need some conditioning to help you say, I have to put the brakes. Now let's go back to the case study. I think I can actually get through this part. I've got a few more minutes. But here it is. The case study was, if he was in the problem, and the enemy is working in the midst of it, who's the real problem? Who's the real problem? The enemy's the problem, right? How so? Why is the enemy the problem?
Because he's come to kill, steal, and destroy.
Yes, he does do that. What else? What? He said the enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy. You know that? Yes.
He's also a tremendous deceiver.
A deceiver.
So he cannot see the truth.
Yes. He's a deceiver. What does that mean? He can look like anything that's nice, but at this point, this form of deception is what is he doing? He's lying in a lot of ways, right? He's lying to who? He's lying to her because she believes, yes, he's the one actually doing these things, of course, but he's not really the problem. Now we need to see beyond this, because if you want to go see this and you want to recognize this, you need to start having vision. And what does this vision require? And here we go. We're going to have what the Bible, in military battle, they use actionable intel. Intel, the military term, they describe information you get from the enemy. Folks, you need to know your enemy. If you want to see this happen, you're going to need to know your enemy. And oh my goodness, I might have to come back to you guys. Who is Satan, by the way? Who is it? Satan, who is it? Huh? Who was he before? Oh, Lucifer. He was like awesome, right? Yeah, but think about this and all the names he goes by, because Satan goes by so many other names. So you need to know your enemy. We need to know the adversary. We need to know everything about it. Satan means he is antagonistic to the plans and purposes of God. He will always seek to misconstrue and, again at this point, knock down the character of God and the purposes of God. Right? So the devil means slanderous. Lucifer means day star and shining one. Tempter means the one who entices. Ruler of the world, he also goes by. Prince of the powers of the air. Prince of darkness. Accuser means the one who condemns. Father of lies. Now we need to go through all of these, and I think I'm going to have to come back and get all of these in detail so you understand what it would take to see the scheme of the enemy. You need to know your opponent. You need to know how he works in the midst of this tangible world today. Now, we have more of us than they are of them, but you don't see that. We need to have vision to see this. We need to equip ourselves to be able to prepare ourselves. How do I see it? You see, when we're in trouble, when we're struggling, that's when we wake up. That's because it's painful in the moment. Other than that, we take it for granted. We take it for granted. I can be giving you the word here right now, and you can be taking it for granted. Yes, okay, that's good information. Yeah, I like that. Then the only time it will really become a reality to you is when you're suffering. You're going to wait till you're in nature. You see? When things are going so bad, then you want to pray. You're no different than the world. That's what it says. You're going to wait till you get to that point, and then you're going to wake up. And by that time, you'll probably have weak muscles. You're pretty weak. I want you to hold on to this case study, because I want us, when we go, I'm going to have to sort of take another go at this again to finish it, because we need to understand, we're going to be faced basically putting the scripture in Ephesians chapter 6, verse 10 on this series. We're going to break it down. We're going to actually put down so that this case study that I gave you today, you'll understand how you can see that this man is not the problem. How do we know she's not the problem? She's the one going through this, but the problem is the enemy, right? But who is the enemy lying to? Oh. You can be right that he's acting up, but the way you are handling could be wrong. True?
Yes.
But the Bible says the truth will set you free. But we have trouble seeing because we have no vision to see that a battle is taking place. I'm going to be talking about in here that we're taking all of this for granted. Colossians, I'm going to end with Colossians, and I'm going to have to come back to finish this because I told you I have a lot to sort of prepare us for this series, to develop our armor of how God says we need to sort of prepare ourselves. Otherwise, we're going to be fighting the same, and the enemy has the same lie. After a while, the lies are so constant and so regular that it becomes second nature. It becomes normal. You know, I say it all the time to folks. I did a conference not too long, and I says, you know, your dysfunction, you're probably functioning with normal dysfunctions already. Your dysfunction is already so normal, you accept it as it should be. That's what the enemy has convinced us. He has blinded us to see the spiritual realm and convinces that everybody around us is the problem. My husband, my wife is not acting up, my children are acting up, and all of that, and we can't see the schemes. And we wonder, I'm praying, why is it not working? Yes, you're praying, but you need to sort of see something else. We need to develop, folks. And in Colossians, it teaches us, and it tells us that, for he has rescued us from the dominion of darkness and brought us into the kingdom of the Son of He loves. Now here, when he's talking about the kingdom, he's not referring to a place. He's not referring to a place here when he refers to the kingdom. Anybody has an idea what he's referring to? Sovereign power. Yes.
I was going to say a spiritual system.
Yeah. Awesome. He's giving you the authority, the power to overcome the prince of darkness and all these other things that we're going to need to talk about when we get into it. Because you're going to need to know your opponent. You need to know how the enemy's working. Yes, your husband is acting up. Yes, things will hurt you. These things happen. Yes, we need to set boundaries so they don't keep happening. We have a responsibility because if we allow the enemy to get you to be triggered and act inappropriately, you're part of the problem and not the solution. It's time to get our act together. It's time for us to really see this the way God wants us to see it. Otherwise, we're going to get lost in as they say in translation. So we're going to realize our position in Christ right now. So let's bow our heads right now.